Women don't want you, men. The reason is simple. First, because you're poor and have no money. Second, if you have money, then maybe you're not handsome enough. Third, if you're handsome and have money, then maybe you're not tall enough. Fourth, if you're handsome, have money, and are tall, then, sorry. But at that point, you men need to stop and think.
我觉得长什么样子不重要，然后你长得帅、长得丑都不重要，有没有钱不重要，能不能挣钱也不重要，是你是哪里人不重要。我不是女权主义，然后我是智性恋。
Guys, today I brought your wife again. When a girl thinks looks and money don't matter, it's because she has a bigger plan. The double ponytail girl from Kaifeng in this episode is a prime example.
你老看手机干啥呢？
我写了个稿子。
你还写的稿子。
Here's the first detail. She brought a prepared script to the date, which shows she came prepared, already with an ideal partner template in mind.
我希望你的身高可以超过178以上。我希望你能够定居在河南。我希望你是本科以上，或者是本科也可以。就是我喜欢聪明人。
The more attentive ones have already noticed that the requirements she mentioned later basically cancel out everything she said at the beginning. Think about it. A man with high education, high IQ, and over 1.78 m tall. Would he lack money? This is clearly an elite man, what we call a golden catch. So, everything she said at the beginning was just a smokescreen, and the requirements that came later are what really matter. Summarized in 2 words, resources and money.
我想要比我强一些的男人，然后在家里的话都可以听你的，但是我希望你能对我好。
Now, if we put everything she said together, it gets very interesting. I like someone stronger than me. Actually means someone capable and with money. I hope you're over 1.78 m. Actually means tall and handsome. Be good to me. Actually means spend money on me. At home, you make all the decisions. Actually means you provide for me. There's no denying it. The double ponytail girl has a very well thought out logic. On the outside, she seems cute and innocent. But on the inside, she's extremely shrewd. Notice I used the word shrewd and not smart, because she seems more like a businesswoman than someone looking for a relationship.
今年是23岁，刚大学毕业，然后在摸鱼考研。我的学历是双非本科，年龄的话比我大30岁以下。
Here are 2 interesting points. First, she emphasizes that she's preparing for her master's degree, which is actually a way to elevate her status and justify her demands. This kind of strategy isn't uncommon.
如果在座有研究生的话，我们可以认识一下，因为我也刚考完，感觉考得比较一般。
I was there, watching that ponytail girl play her game. She'd said under 30, and I thought, why such a loose limit? Then it hit me. She knows those 25 or 26-year-olds still stumbling through life don't stand a chance with her. Only the ones around 30 with something solid to show might make the cut. The next step made that painfully clear. Then this kid shows up. Age, 19? She asked, her tone practically dripping with disdain. A 19-year-old brat who should be buried in textbooks, trying to play grown-up. Pathetic, but he ended up being useful. He got her to spill, I like uncles or older brothers more. Of course, older guys come with what she's fishing for: money, stability, experience. Next came one who seemed to hit the mark. I'm 29, got a bachelor's degree, and I'm a public servant, he said, with that air of someone who already thinks he's won. I saw her perk up for a split second. Public servant's like a gold star for her. But then it crashed. Where are you from? She asked. Xinjiang, he replied. Xinjiang, that's far, she said, with a limp smile that felt rehearsed. Out of Hunan, out of the running. Long-distance relationships. I don't think they work. I hate them, she declared. I get it, but it's more than that. She rejects anything that doesn't fit her script. She's a walking spreadsheet. Then she pulled her move. We can be friends, sure, start as friends, she said, with a voice pretending to be casual. Friends, right. I saw through it. She axed the romance, but filed him away like a business card. Zero interest? Hardly, just cloaked. She doesn't toss anything that might pay off later. The last guy was the older brother type she's into. Education. I'm doing a master's, higher than yours, right? He said, with a hint of smugness. Yeah, that's good, she replied, almost letting her guard slip in her tone. Higher education's her holy grail, especially if it tops hers. Why? Because she's studying for a master's, meaning she's struggling to pass, and wants a boost. But distance, as usual, killed it. Where are you doing your master's? she asked. In Shanghai, he answered. Clearly, that's not happening, she snapped, no hesitation. She buried any flicker of interest with that iciness, but I know she'd already sized him up before cutting him loose. In the end, she never locks the door completely, always leaves a meeting's no big deal. And that's when the last guy, on his way out, said loud enough for everyone to hear. She's useful for business or friendship because she treats everything like a contract. As a partner, she acts like she doesn't care, but only gets close to someone with something to offer, and hides it with logic that's downright creepy. It's not disinterest, it's pure strategy. While I'm here figuring her out, she's probably already scoping the next guy, ruler in hand to measure height, IQ, and wallet. Let's see who's the next sucker. I just stood there, thinking how spot on he was.
I realized that when it comes to setting up arranged dates, the approach is completely different for men and women. When it's for a woman, maybe she's beautiful, kind and gentle, well-educated, has a high salary, but none of that is mentioned. They always find a flaw they consider unacceptable and focus on that. For example, you're too old, so you can only find someone with poor conditions. Your family isn't well off, so you can only match with this one. And there are even more absurd cases where they say, you're too tall, earn too much, and are too highly educated. Men don't like that. It puts pressure on men. They take a woman's strengths and turn them into weaknesses in the marriage market. But when it comes to men, it's the complete opposite. Maybe the man is old and ugly, short and fat, lazy at work, but none of that is mentioned. They always find something positive to highlight. For example, oh, he's a respectable teacher. When it comes to women, they nitpick and look for flaws where none exist. When it comes to men, they sugarcoat reality as if he were a high-ranking general. And there's more. The details about men are always vague, misleading, and exaggerated. But when it comes to women, everything is laid out in full detail. From appearance to family history, all the way back to their ancestors. You know what this feels like? Women are constantly denied, put down, and devalued. They are given partners below them and are still made to believe that meeting this man was their lucky break. That the fact he's willing to marry her is an act of generosity. As for men, they are elevated to a status they don't actually have, given partners above them, and basically tricked a woman into marrying them.
Guys, I'm really not rushing you. If you're a man and you reach 35 or 40, as long as you have a good income, you can still find a 22-year-old partner. But for women, after a certain age, finding someone becomes extremely difficult. Since we call it a marriage market, that means there are exchanges involved. And every exchange is based on value. A person's value, whether man or woman, can be summarized in 4 aspects within the marriage market: economic value, material wealth; emotional value, psychological support; sexual value, physical attraction; reproductive value, ability to have children. For example, a 22-year-old woman may be beautiful, but has just started working and only earns $5,000 a month. Yet, many millionaire men who own homes and cars in Shenzhen would want to marry her. Why? Because even though her economic value is low, her sexual and reproductive values are high. Now, let's say this same woman reaches 30. She now earns $300,000 a year, has bought a small BMW, and only wants a partner making $500,000 a year with 2 properties in Shenzhen. But at the same time, her sexual and reproductive values are declining rapidly. When you were 26, I advised you gently. When you turned 28, I had to set a deadline. What does a deadline mean? It means a red line, a limit. I don't owe you anything, and you don't owe me anything either. But I kept my promise to your father. I took care of you, gave you opportunities, and provided resources that most people could only dream of. Now, it's time for you to understand reality. The dating market operates on exchanges, not fantasies. Time is not on anyone's side, and the longer you wait, the fewer options you'll have. This isn't cruelty, it's simply how things are. The truth is, when you were 22, your looks and youth gave you access to high-value men, even without wealth or a solid career. But time has passed, and now you want a high-value partner without considering what you're bringing to the table. You can't expect to attract a top-tier man if you're unwilling to invest in yourself and your future. Many women live in denial, believing that charm and superficial beauty are enough to secure a stable relationship. But that's a dangerous game. At 30, you're competing not just with younger women but also with those who are more established, more financially secure, and who have a clearer understanding of their value in the market. And let's face it, society often puts the burden of success on men, expecting them to provide, to excel, to meet certain standards. Yet, when it comes to women, there seems to be a reluctance to acknowledge that the same rules apply. If you want a man who is financially stable, ambitious, and driven, you need to match that energy and ambition. You cannot sit back and expect the universe to deliver your desires without putting in the work. I'm giving you this ultimatum not because I want to control you, but because I see where this is heading. You can ignore the facts, but the facts won't ignore you. If you want to keep going down this path, that's your choice. But don't expect me to keep supporting you while you turn a blind eye to reality. You need to confront the hard truths about your situation, your value, and what you're willing to do to secure your future. Ultimately, this is about understanding the landscape of relationships in today's world. It's about recognizing that love and partnership are not just about emotions. They're also about strategy and choices. If you're not willing to engage with that reality, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And I won't be there to cushion your fall when the reality hits.
The Saga of the Ponytail Girl, a treatise on how to turn love into a mathematical equation and make everyone realize it. She has the list, tall, intelligent, rich, and preferably settled in Hunan, and she doesn't hide it one bit that she's after something else. But honestly, why would she, in a world where romance has become a commercial transaction? She's playing the game like a professional. Here's the point. This isn't just about one girl in Kaifeng. This is the new standard. Across China and the West, women are raising their expectations like it's an Olympic competition. They want the degree, the job, the apartment, the car, and maybe even a contract that guarantees he'll never look at another woman. And who can blame them? Society sold them the idea that they can have it all. So why would they settle for anything less than a full package with a return policy? Meanwhile, men are starting to wake up to the trap. Some are rubbing their eyes and wondering, wait, is this dating or a job interview? They're exhausted from being evaluated as nothing more than sources of money with a good bank account and a car in the garage. And honestly, it's about time someone asked this question. True love can't come with a credit score built in. The problem is, when men start waking up and questioning this model, women aren't exactly thrilled. They're out there, holding their standards, demanding everything from a man. But in practice, when those standards resemble business merger requirements, it's hard to believe they're looking for a real partner. What they actually want is a sponsor, someone to fulfill a list of requirements that looks more like a contract. And what's the endgame? Maybe it's time to stop, breathe, and realize that a relationship isn't just a checklist to be ticked off. Maybe men should come together and form a union, demand better conditions, or, who knows, go look for another market. What's clear is that the dating game is turning into a battlefield, with both sides digging trenches and preparing for a war of expectations and disappointments. And the ponytail girl? Is she a strategic genius hiding behind cuteness and innocence, or walking warning sign about the dangers of superficial romance? That's up to you. But here's a tip in the game of love. When someone treats you like a stock on the exchange, maybe it's time to sell everything and get out. In the end, everyone deserves something more genuine than a financial deal disguised as a relationship. Or maybe it's better to stay single, right? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights straight from the trenches of Asian dilemmas. See you in the next video.